Now let's build some fins for our ship. So I want to build a couple of fins here. The large fin is going to be our main concern. So let's actually build this shape first. And we'll do that using a polygon primitive cube, which we'll then bring up into position. Okay. And even though this is more of a triangular shape, I want to use a cube to build it. We maintain our quads and get a little bit more control over things. So I'm going to go ahead and scale out the bottom, and then from the top, let's kind of scale this out to the base here. Okay, let's go ahead and bring these points in wherever we think that that base will come in. So maybe right about there. Okay, and now what we can do is go ahead, let's actually narrow this. Actually, that's about right. We want to take the top points and move them up. Okay, I'm going to move that one back, and let's take these front 2 points and move those back as well. Okay, I'm going to thin those up from the front view. Okay, so we're starting to get a little bit of the pyramid kind of a shape in there. We need to add a little bit more resolution though. So let's go in and use our Insert Edge Loop tool to add a few edge loops on the side. Okay, we can use those to shape our fin a little bit. Go ahead and bring it up to this line here. And we'll do the same thing over here on this side. Kind of bring that up to that line, pull this back in a little bit. Okay, so we get something like that. Again, if this is a little bit too wide up here, we can kind of thin this out a little bit. Do the same thing down here to get a nice taper. All right. We can go ahead and get rid of the face on the bottom. And let's actually add a few lines going along this direction. Will help us add a little shape and help us in a second as well. So let's use our Insert Edge Loop tool. And this time we'll use multiple edge loops and set that to 2. We'll add those in there, and we can take our edge loops and maybe scale them out a little bit. Okay, let's actually hit 3 to smooth this, and then we can drop down our points onto or into the fuselage here. So go ahead and kind of bring it down that point. And let's do the same thing over here. Kind of bring those down so they're a little bit more penetrating in. Okay. And let's try to get our shape a little bit closer. Okay, so now we need to create this bit up here. And so we can use that resolution that we just created to do that. And let me just go ahead and tweak this a little bit more. Okay, so let's actually select those faces, coming all the way down to the bottom, to that last face. And now let's do an extrude. So extrude that, and let's actually just pull this out. Okay, so we get something like that. Now we can come in and clean this up a little. So I'm going to go ahead and bring this back, and let's actually, once we hit that, let's actually go ahead and pull this back here. So you can see we've got these 2 points inside here. We want to get those back out here. Kind of bring that up a little bit maybe. Okay, and then we can come in here and smooth this, and then figure out how we can shape this a little bit. So this needs to come out and up. This needs to come up a little bit as well. And so this is going to extend out all the way into the back part of our canopy that we created. So something like that. Okay, and we can add a little bit of hardness here on that division by just using our Insert Edge Loop tool. Let's go ahead and reset it. And now we can start to just add some edge loops in here to tighten that up, and do the same thing over here on this side. Okay, and that gives us something like that. Okay, and you can use the same technique if you want to just duplicate it. You could do that as well. Just duplicate this, kind of bring this down onto the wing, and could maybe, to do something a little bit different, maybe just turn it around a little bit. Set that to 180 degrees and stick it out here on the end of the wing just to add a little bit of detail. Scale it down a little bit. I don't know if this shows up anywhere in our art or in our image planes. It kind of does there. Let's go ahead and rotate this out a little bit. Again, this is what mine kind of looks like. Yours can look different. It's not really the point to get it exactly the same, but more to just kind of get used to using the tools. So we could create something like that to put on the wing, or you could reverse that as well. Okay, so once we've got the fins built in, a big fin and then a fin on the wing, the next thing that we can start to think about is the back end. So this is still all open in here, so we can add some exhaust ports and little pieces in here, and we'll do that coming up in the next lesson.